And tungeuliza Mother Koome, although you cannot dictate these people, but let them understand that all these three arms of the government must work together. And the president has been saying this all the time. You frustrated Uhuru up to where you reached. Now you have started now frustrating the president, Ruto. What are you after?
Dear ladies and gentlemen, Martha Koome team decided to stand with Kenyans, and that decision made UDA unhappy. And that is related to the PS vetting process that was stopped by the High Court. So Ngunjiri came guns blazing and accusing Martha Koome of siding with the opposition and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Kindly listening to what Kimani Ngunjiri said.
Na ni mambo ya wana Kenya kuangalia na waone kuna shida. When the President William Ruto trying so hard to bring up this country, bahari kuna shida. Na amejaribu for the few days, we have not even finished 6 months. Na amejaribu iwezavyo. Lakini wana Kenya muangalie na mjue iko shida. The president tried dialogue, letting the judiciary know and sorting out their problem. Ya pesa ambayo walikuwa wanasema wana pesa ya kutosha, ya swearing in the judges. But it's so disappointing kuona that Ruto amepiga msasa ya kutosha ya kufuatilia katiba. Kwa sababu kama nchi zingine angekuwa sweared in na straight away aseme amevuta ma CS, amevuta ma PS, amefanya mambo ile nyingine. Lakini he still stand on the process of the constitution of Kenya. Na wakati anafanya namna hiyo, he still being frustrated by the people. And I would say judiciary mwache siasa.
So Kimani Ngunjiri was reacting to that High Court directive that forced the Speaker of the National Assembly to stop that process of vetting. So earlier on, LSK had filed a petition to stop the ongoing vetting process of PS because of the various claims about tribal imbalance as far as the nomination of the seats or the slots of the PS was concerned. You remember Kenyans were crying foul that two communities had taken close to 30 slots out of the 52 slots that were supposed to be allocated. So there's a saying that mshale kwa nguruwe ni mtamu, kwa binadamu ni mchungu. That is an old Swahili saying. And that means, like, you know, what Kimani Ngunjiri is trying to tell people is that they're now feeling that the decision that Martha Koome team made was one that favored Azimio One Kenya Alliance. But if you look at the decision very well, then you find that the decision was for the good of the country. Danson Omari earlier on claimed that Nyamira County was elilengwa kabisa, and we talked about it in our previous analysis. So if one region can get close to 14 slots, and then a county like Nyamira County does not get a single slot, then I think that is something that the country needs to look at. So the courts decided to look at all these complaints and weigh them and realize that the constitution was not implemented accordingly.
Do not give orders. You're just giving orders when it's the middle. And one person, if it's a judge, you just make orders and throw the file there without seeing this in the Kama ruling kwa nyumba ya mtu. This is a serious issue for Kenyans. It's a serious issue. Kenyans wanagoja mambo ifanyike. Wanagoja mambo ya ile pesa waliahidiwa bottom up. Wanagoja sheria zitengenezwe. Wanagoja budget tufanye. Judiciary iongezwe pesa ifanye nini? Iweze kujenga makoti ya kutosha. Iweze kufanya majudgment ya kutosha. But I want to say clearly, judiciary, many of them who are there, they are still in the mood of politics. Look at the judge who has given that order. We know where he comes from. And you know whom he is working for. kusimamisha inchi mzima at a standstill. Inchi isimame, serikali isimame. Is it not politics? And you are doing it just the last minute. It's just politics. We know where you come from, we know what you are after, and you know who is your boss. Ni nani anakusema kufanya namna hiyo? We want the freedom of the three arms of the government, but they should know the three arms of the government. You are not independent from the president who was elected by the people. Watu walichagua Ruto kama president yao. Na mjue Ruto hangechaguliwa kama Mungu hajawekelea mkono. So you are also fighting with the God. You just make a ruling na kutupa faili hapo kama mchezo, kwa sababu mshahara yako inakuja, uko na security policy, uko na kila kitu yote, you make other Kenyans suffer because your salary is still coming. This is very disappointing.
And I think, I don't know, but this serves as a major blow to William Samoei Ruto's team. And Kimani Ngunjiri is known to be using the media to complain, to air out his grievances. Remember, during the Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's regime, he used to talk bad about Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, always talking bad about the moves that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta made. But you see, most of those times, Uhuru never answered Kimani Ngunjiri. So you realize that he is still using the same tactic, but this time round he has decided to use the same tactic on Martha Koome, and this is going forward. It's going to affect the performance of Martha Koome, because now if you have the likes of Kimani Ngunjiri attacking Martha Koome left, right, and center, like what we've seen in that video, and then you have the Azimio and Kenya Alliance also still mad about Martha Koome's remarks on the hot air and the wild goose chase, then you find that the courts will likely face it rough. So from the sentiments of Kimani Ngunjiri, there are two things that I make out of those sentiments. One of them is the 3 billion and the sudden swearing in of those judges who Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had decided to kuacha, only meant that perhaps the Kenya Kwanza government knew that Martha Koome's team would turn a blind eye on their moves, moves that contradict the constitution, like for the case of this nomination of the PS that saw William Samoei Ruto nominate members of only 2 communities that served almost 3/4 of the nominated seats. So maybe the expectations that Martha Koome team would turn a blind eye on it. So that is the first observation that I have. Now the second observation is that going forward, perhaps from the look of things, maybe William Samoei Ruto will not find it easier to work with Martha Koome, because first, there was a time when William Samoei Ruto tried to bring about the concept of increasing the NSSF funds. Again, the courts decided to shoot it down. Now, this is like the third attempt that William Samoei Ruto trying to do something, then the courts are shooting it down again. So I think going forward, this might make William Samoei Ruto also follow in the footsteps of Moi. Moi used to disregard court orders. So I think William Samoei Ruto might find himself, going against the court orders, and that is one of the ways that one becomes a dictator. How then do you become a dictator? You first of all start by, evading those court orders, evading the constitution, and doing things according to what you think they should be done. So that is the beginning of someone becoming a dictator. So I'm just having, ladies and gentlemen, that's just my hypothesis, but my hypothesis also is subject to time. Time will tell whether these observations of mine will carry the day. But those two observations, I think there are some things that are, if you look at them cleanly, then you find that they are true, they are almost true. But as now, I still consider them a hypothesis.
And tungeuliza Martha Koome, although you cannot dictate these people, but let them understand that all these 3 arms of the government must work together. And the president has been saying this all the time. You frustrated Uhuru up to where you reached. Now you have started frustrating the president, Ruto. What are you after? You after what? What are you after? Yani, you can hear even somebody asking for the order of something supposed to happen tomorrow. Then you give an order, the mentioning will be next week. When you know the orders people are asking, even demolition of the house and what, it has been done tomorrow, and you have been explained this tomorrow, but you just give a judgment of saying, we are going to mention this case 2 weeks to come.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Kimani Ngunjiri, and I'm finding it something that's going to be strange, because going forward, I think these attacks on Martha Koome will continue, because Kimani Ngunjiri is known to be one hell of a person who does not stop attacking someone online, and he's always be using YouTube to, to attack. He always used to use that to attack Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Now this time round is doing it on Martha Koome, and this is something that Azimio and Kenya Alliance did not expect would come from a UDA person, because whatever Kimani Ngunjiri is saying is not from his own thinking. It must have come from someone within the UDA or the Kenya Kwanza government. Remember, Malala said that sisi tulioko nje ndio deep state, nyinyi mliokuwa appointed ndio state. So Kimani Ngunjiri is a deep state, like Malala is also a deep state. So they are communicating to Martha Koome as deep state. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly share your observations, share your comments below the comment section there. But for those who have not subscribed to Yuleno TV, kindly do so. And once again, I'd like to say thank you so much for those who've been supporting our channel until we've reached this far. Again, I'd like to urge you to stay safe and stay blessed until we meet again for more analysis.